Welcome to the anti-propaganda channel called the Tomb of Illumination, the place where we talk about the earth and what it's like to be illuminated. In other words, know the bullshit from the truth, know propaganda from a dog turd, and understand the realm we live in as the reality it is, as opposed to the make-believe spinning ball bullshit. Now this is another world first video and information never ever been revealed before. Now I'm just humouring myself putting these videos out, considering only 300 people get to see them in a week or two. 7 billion people in the world today living on propaganda and lies. And when I show them something that's a world first, actual fact, truth of the matter, how it all gets swept under the mat. How the evil few who run the system hide it all from the people and just push their propaganda day in, day out. So anyway, today's video is in regards to the underworld. What the hell is the underworld? It's an overlay. When the southern hemisphere slips under the northern hemisphere. What the hell does he mean by that? Well, I'm about to explain it. But for all you people who have never seen my videos before, you keep whinging that you don't understand or I don't explain it properly. I mean, you can't blame me if you're a bit slow. The flat earth system, it's quite easy to understand as a whole. If you want to get technical, get right into it, it's a bit tricky. But you need to first understand what a toroidal field is, a torus field. It looks just like this. And this is precisely what we live in. If you could slice it through the middle this way, that would be the flat plane of inertia that is actually Earth. We're inside this field. So you can consider it as a magnetic flux. And we're all part of that flux. You can't leave the flux. You can't leave the magnetic field. What makes you think you can just leave the realm that's created for you? That's just dumb, pure ignorance. And people believe that nonsense. They don't think they can get in a spaceship and just fly out into La La Land, when they don't even know what the term ship is used for when we're talking about a rocket ship. Why is it called a ship? Most people don't even know that the atmosphere is full of moisture. They don't understand what the vacuum is. The vacuum, whether you want to call it space or whatever, is the atmosphere becoming thinner and thinner and thinner. So as it gets thinner and thinner and thinner, the molecules are expanding. Everything expands. So nothing can leave our realm unless it's going to expand to the point of shredding itself to nothing, almost nothing. Because that's what the atmosphere is doing. If you think an object of mass can force its way out or into a vacuum, you're batshit crazy. You'll bounce off it like a force field. Because that's what's happening in the upper atmosphere. The hydrogen molecule is expanding. It's puffing up, and it shreds itself. And it gets shredded as it goes on up. And it goes through these layers, gaseous pressure layers, the inert gases, through ionization, through either lightning or sprites which purifies the molecule, purifies the water as it's going up, but that's what raises it from one state to another, is the ionization. And eventually gets right up to there to helium. This is why we make helium balloons, don't we? So they go right up. It's about as high as you can go. The helium balloon will go up there and that's it. But anyway, I digress. So that centre there is the centre Arctic. Look how small it is. So you could draw a big gap around here, which represents the tropical gap, the tropical zone. So that would leave the centre north very small compared to the larger realm of the outer southern hemisphere. And that's what it is in reality. Because everything expands out from the centre as it goes south. Everything. That includes the human being. Because nothing's actually physical. We're just light beings in this magnetic field. So we expand with the field as we move south. So everything is relative to the observer all the way out. Your arcs of longitude are all relative to you because you've expanded with it. This is why they create the ball model. Because you come back out here, you're still the same size in relation to the arc of longitude as you are back here. As a troll or a giant out here. Is that hard to understand? I think it is for most people. Because they want to believe that everything is physical. Nothing can change shape. They think man made the Great Pyramids. They don't realise everything is sound and resonance. Metal, stone can turn to jelly with the right resonance. We can just disappear like that. We were created just like that. When the sun hit the right frequency, all life began. We can just appear like this. It's a concept people can't get their heads around. So there you have it. There's the earth inside there, okay? Now, above the earth is what we call the positive field. And then under we have the negative field. Positive and negative. But in between is the neutral, the plane of inertia, neutral. So Earth itself is neutral. The dirt we stand on is neutral. But then you break it down again. So you have a positive field and a negative field, and then within that positive field we have a north and a south pole. See, it's like breaking down a magnet. You just keep breaking down, it separates itself all the time. So how we see it in our realm is we have the positive field above Earth, but in that positive field we have a north and a south pole. So the south pole's out here and the north pole's in there. But the south pole is just merely a returning north pole because the toroidal field, it has to return on itself, doesn't it? So it just goes out and flows back in. But don't be fooled. It looks like I'm the only person in the world who's talking about this. And that's the fact the field does not flow from there all the way up to here. Not over this way anyway. It flows to the Tropic of Cancer. Shoots straight down to the ground, then flows along the ground. Not within it or under it, but along the ground. And then comes up out of the ground in the Antarctic. Then flows over to the Tropic of Capricorn and goes straight down. Why? Because there's a tropical gap here, is the dielectric. It cannot cross that dielectric field. This is what creates the whole moving magnetic cycle, the whole magnetic field, the whole torus. Without that dielectric gap, a north and a south pole would find equilibrium. They would just go straight to each other and meet. And then that would be the end of it. That would be the end of life, everything. Because it's found equilibrium, found perfection. It doesn't need to work anymore. This is nature, isn't it? Everything wants to seek its resting state. and in nature that's the same. But if it did, that would be the end of it. So, for this field to continue recycling, one field has to be bigger than the other. It's what they call the potential energy. So, then you have to understand what a magnetic field cycle is. Another world first of mine. A magnetic field cycle is a 3:2 or a 2:3 ratio. So you look at the sun's analemma, it's actually a 2:3 ratio. And we get these cycles coming out around the south, back to the north, round to the south, back to the north, round to the south, back to the north, round to the south, back to the north, all the way around. And that's continuously moving. West, which drives all the celestial bodies we see as images in the tropical gap. Westward, continuously flowing. Because the field's coming up from the south, curving. What this doesn't show is the curving magnetic fields, because obviously the tropical gap's not in here. The tropical gap where it all diverges away from the tropical gap. So it curls around to avoid avoiding direct contact with the tropical gap. It curves and then shoots straight down to the earth, along the ground, then back up out centre north, or out of centre north over to the Tropic of Cancer, curving straight down to the ground, then along the ground and out over the southern field. That's how it works. Because of that motion, it keeps it continuously moving. There has to be a difference. So there's a 3:2 ratio. There's cycles, infinite cycles. That's why it's phi. It represents infinity. Check out my earlier videos. So it's always a cycle, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, always spinning around the centre north and out to the south. So because we have this tropical gap, we live in a dual system. So therefore, if it's a dual system, they have to both have their own systems, and they do. There's the northern hemisphere system, everything you can see, the stars in the sky, the planets, the Milky Way, but the southern field also has to have one. So it's actually mirrored, because the main entity, which is Osiris, if you want to go Egyptian style, let's not go there though, confuse you. There's the main entity in the northern hemisphere. Then we have a reflection, a mirrored image out to the south. So it's like that. It's going to be seen out there like this, or out there like this, or out there like that, or out there like this. It's all mirrored out along the meridians. Each one of these meridians, north to south, it's a nice 180-degree arc. Science knows all this. Every man lives on one of these meridians. He'll get his northerly image, looking back this way. He'll get his southerly image back that way. But because of the dual system, the person in the southern hemisphere will get his images, and the guy in the northern hemisphere will get his images. So then we have to go on to what is man seeing, and why, and how. And that's to understand that every man has his own arc of horizon. A nice symmetrical dome over him for his perspective of the world around him. He only sees so far before it goes down on his horizon. It goes down on his horizon. The flat earth plane does not go down away over some magical mystery ball. No, his arc of horizon goes down. Earth does not curve. Just what he's seeing is going down. Now, Newton's theory, string theory, originated, before they butchered it all, was basically you stand under your arc, say you're holding a balloon, and imagine the balloon comes up from the east and goes over to the west. Well, he's standing here at 90 degrees to zenith of his arc with his balloon. He's holding the balloon that way, and then without moving, his balloon goes all the way over to the west. So what's happened? Has the balloon changed shape? Has it got further away? Has it got closer? No. But the string's the same length. He hasn't gone like that, gone like this, holding it there, right over like that. So imagine if there's the pattern of the moon on the balloon. So the moon's like that, looking like this. Went straight over, didn't turn, just went over your dome like that. Oh, what the hell? Why does the moon look like that now for? Because it's rolled over your arc of horizon. It's so simple. See my thumb? It's still perpendicular to the arc. Same position, it's just rolled over. All the celestial bodies roll over your arc of horizon as they go out of your perspective, go out of your horizon, because everything is going this way around the flat earth. But that's creation. Creation's lateral, but in the physical world, the created world, it's vertical. In the center Arctic, we have a vortex. Look, it's vertical. That's the hyperboloid that expresses out the torus field. It sits vertical. Where am I going with that? Well, the Milky Way goes in there. It curls into there. It all comes out of the north. But we see it out in this curved field here. So we don't see what's in here. This is creation inside here. We can't get in there. But everything is in there vertically in a vortex, going around like this inside a vertical vortex. So it's going around like this. We see it in our world going like this. Not like this. That's back in creation. So in our created world we see it going like this, perpendicular to it. Just like a magnetic field is perpendicular to an electrical current, or a current perpendicular to a magnetic field. It's 90 degrees to each other. It's the same thing, because our whole realm is based on magnetism. How can it be magnetism, some dummies say? Well, they have to understand. In magnetism, we have a north and a south pole. But what's between the north and the south pole? Anything? There has to be something. Otherwise the North Pole would just find the South Pole, find equilibrium, go to rest, and then cease to move. There has to be the dielectric gap, the place of avoidance. So any magnet has a 2:3 ratio that keeps it flowing like this. It doesn't just all rush like that and go bang. That's science, that's just dumb. No, it flows like this, avoiding, going up and over and back, continuous avoidance. The strong magnetic field is in the north, the weaker field is out south. All science tells you is that magnetic field out there is equal to this magnetic field in here. Well, that's right, but look, per area, there's a 3:2 ratio. Let's say per pizza slice, all the way around. And that's the way the magnetic field cycle works. In and out, 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 all the way around the globe. Flat earth, I should say. All the way around the flat earth. That's the magnetic cycle. That's the world first I've shown. But all I hear is crickets. Just like the other 20 world first discoveries I've made. Now, what's just coming out now, I don't know if they've been watching my videos or not, but it's just funny, you never see it till my videos have been out for a while, is that man's speech creates the toroidal field. The sound creates the toroidal field. Well, all my videos have been showing that the sound comes out of here. It's the hyperboloid centre of creation. The black hole is the amplifier of sound, because our whole realm is a sound show. And what's sound? What does sound do? It creates light, creates colour. So it's a sound there, coming out of there. This is why mantra yoga is good for the human body. The resonance within your system, you can cure yourself. You sit there and do your ohms. Om, you start down low. Om. You get the higher pitch coming up into your skull. You do that several times, you feel really good. Because it's good for you. We come from the place of sound. This is why sun gazing is good, because the black hole of creation is the state of rest. And that's where Earth has come from. The plane of inertia is the plane of rest. That's why the Earth does not move. All the action is around it. The flat plane in here does not move. Fixed and stationary. And because the Earth is from the hole, and the sun is on the horizon of the hole, sun gazing is a good thing. And why we're attracted to that, or feel good, if you know how to go about it, is because of the state of rest that the sun sits on. It's how we need to relax and go into the sun consciously to find the place of relaxation. Because our brain is pretty much like this toroidal field. You take a slice out of it, with the gap, you've got two hemispheres with the gap in the centre. See, it's symmetrical, right? Gap in the centre, but go down and finish it flat with a flat earth. The part above there is the same as the human brain. Has the two hemispheres and the gap. That's why we're all connected to the earth. We live inside a massive brain, basically. All the information is in here. It's not in here. This brain in here is just to help us function, our body to function. This is the church. You have to open a little part in the middle of your brain to absorb all the information that's in this realm into your brain. All the answers are out there. Nothing's new under the sun. You just open your mind. Seek and you shall find. And all the answers come in. You have to think. You have to know how to open your mind. But the big fatty thing called a brain in there is just to help your bodily functions work properly. So there you have it. Sun, moon, all the stars are all hidden in the centre vortex. All going around inside this big vortex. Just turning like this. As that turns, it casts all the pictures out for us to see. As a picture show. The picture show is created by all the moisture in the atmosphere, and the backdrop of night creates the theatre. So what's in here unseen gets all projected out into the moisture-filled black backdrop of night and shows us the starry show. And it's all there for a show. Doesn't it say that in the Bible? All the ancestral bodies are there for a show. Yes. So what you have to imagine is this place of creation in here that we do not see, we cannot get to, is getting exploded out, right? Well, that place in there is represented in the tropical gap, all the way around here. So that circular motion in here, which is called the vortex of creation, is now going around in this big gap out here in the tropical gap. So you have to imagine what's in this celestial tropical gap, tropical gap, what they call the ecliptic plane, is a blown up image of what's happening right back in here in the centre. Right back there, hidden above the Arctic centre. Book of the Dead, all the ancient knowledge tells us is hidden. But you can understand how it works. You ever go to the very North Pole and have to suffer the winds, the cold and the winds. It's also told in Enoch, if you find the measure of the earth and go to those ends of the world, you will surely die. You can't go out here and just keep going south. You'll surely die through lack of oxygen, and you're pushing your way into that vacuum. The air's too thin for a human body to survive. Unless he starts blowing up like a balloon and then eventually shredding, you can carry on. It's not a comfortable feeling. It hurts. Same as if you go up high without any protection. It starts to hurt. So, that had nothing to do with the video I was about to do, but it's a rundown for the beginners. Now you know, okay? We live in a thing like this. It's a toroidal field. And it's got a tropical gap. It's called the dielectric. It stops this field from meeting this field and finding equilibrium. Okay? All science is telling you is on a magnetic field they are equal. North and South Pole is equal, which is total lies. Rubbish. 90% of it. 10% at the end is correct because overall it is equal, but it's a 2 to 3 ratio. It cannot be equal. Okay? See, it's a lot larger out here. This field is a lot larger than in here. It's a 2 to 3 ratio. What's the 2 to 3 ratio? That's phi. What's phi? 1.618. What's the golden ratio? What's the Fibonacci? It's all in nature. It's all explained in there. Covered in dust. Now, let's get back to what the video was about, shall I? I'll just check how much time's left. Oh, what's that? Oh, I can't even see it. 1 minute. 27 minutes. So I've only got 2 minutes left to tell you all about what the video is about. Now, I put my back out. What the ancient Egyptians talk about. The underworld. Oh, I'm going to have to leave the video there. Oh, I'll leave the video there. Back's killing me. Okay. Thanks for watching. Hope you beginners have got a head full of the realm we live in now. And I'll create another video for this one, okay? Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you for watching. Spread the good news. Spread the good news to the other 299 people that are ever going to see this video.